Hello, everybody. On this web class, we're going to go through the 3 hardships in engineering. And there's 3 big ones that I see really across the board within engineering firms. And from everybody that we've had on the podcast, it's lack of time. And I mean, this is really for all construction, but we're going to specifically talk about engineering architecture firms today. One is lack of time. That's one of the biggest things that everybody has a problem with, right? There's never enough time to do projects, to complete them. They're typically over budget, and it's hard to find people, right? You're constantly looking for people to help you complete projects. Now, who am I to talk about any of this? Well, I've designed millions of square feet, mostly all in Revit, from schools, hospitals, offices, apartment buildings, industrial, kind of you name it, mixed use. I've done it. I'm a licensed electrical engineer in 6 states, got 500,000 views plus here on LinkedIn. And again, my whole network is you guys, right? Engineering, construction, people, you are my people. And I've led electrical and MEP teams, been a department head and then a project manager for various MEP teams, primarily in healthcare. So that's who I am, and why I have the ability to talk on a lot of this. And really, so my story too is from all the stress, all the time, right? All the problems that we have, right? Lack of time, you're constantly being pressured about your budgets, and you constantly need to find people. So as a department head, I was trying to find people all the time. I was constantly pressured about budgets and just a lack of time that we have on projects. And all that led me to effectively developing shingles. And this was 2 days before I was supposed to be on that beach. So for 10 days being on that beach, I had shingles. I felt like the fires of Mount Doom. It was a pretty just awful situation. And, being what was supposed to be paradises is Maui, Hawaii, and, just felt like absolute garbage. For those of you that have not had shingles, it's extremely painful. It itches, it burns. It's nothing that anybody ever really wants to deal with. And for me, I had it on my chest and back. So I was just in writhing pain for a week, all due to stress of getting projects out the door and having to deal with budgets constantly. So what are some of the causes of lack of time, right? For a lot of firms, it's either you got too many projects in, or you just have a few really big projects that suck up all of your people. There could be just a lot of last minute changes that need to happen before a project goes out the door. And this happens project after project, deadline after deadline. And if you have a lot of projects and a lot of last minute changes, you can see how this compounds. The other thing that, especially for electrical, is we're always waiting on other disciplines to finish what they need to do so that we can do our part of the project. And, again, this can constantly create last minute deadlines, pushes to get things out the door, and creates a lot of stress. Also in this, in lack of time, is that you just don't have enough people to do the work that you need to do. And one of the things that we can look at for solutions is to add more team members, right? Take work off our plates so that they can do some of it, or to improve the systems and processes that we have so that things can move along a little better. This means like Revit templates, increasing your workflows and information flow to get things to the right people at the right time. And I know like the workflow piece it's a big people piece, right? And getting people to give you the right things, the right times in the process. And then also in change process, right? Like if a big change happens to a project, you get more time. And that's one of the big things, that it's more contractual in how you deal with clients, how the team deals with clients in dealing with those changes. And then one of the other big solutions for lack of time is to automate some of these tedious tasks, right? Getting things set up automatically. Some of this can be done in your templates, right? Where you're able to put things into your Revit templates so that you're able to, automate a given workflow. The next thing we're going to talk about is over budgets, right? And we're going to go through each of these, right? And tell you what the primary cause is, or that we believe and we've seen, and then what some solutions are going to be, because I hate giving out causes without solutions. Over budgets, rework is a big thing, right? Doing the same thing multiple times, iterating through, they don't like it. And that kind of goes hand in hand with the scope changes without a budget increase. right? You don't get any more money for changes that occur in the project to rework something, and that those kind of go hand in hand. The other thing that I don't see enough firms doing or really ever coming back into is feeding the data and the time that it takes on a given project back into their fee structures and fee proposals, so that they're adequately putting enough money into a project to get it done, to make sure that you're meeting budgets, right? Being under budget, and that you're profitable at the end of the day. That's what we all want. So one, how do we solve this, right? So rework can be done in like reducing time spent upfront on drafting. It's a little bit on the automation side, and kind of just waiting for some of the other big pieces to get put in place, and you don't work on a project until you absolutely have to, which kind of creates its own problems in time. And now you got to do a whole bunch of work in a short period of time to get it out the door, and you miss things, and you're stressed and working late nights and weekends, things that nobody wants. So there's a lot of things that go into rework, but a lot of it is in process and how we kind of handle that. The other thing that we want to look at is incorporating that new data into the budgets. Just we talked about for historical data is, using that, collecting it. You're collecting it anyway for projects. So let's feed it back and then have a hours per square foot, something that's pretty consistent across projects to allow it to go in, and maybe you silo it for each kind of market segment. So for education projects, this is what it takes. For healthcare, this is what it takes. For industrial, this is what it takes. For commercial, or whatever your market segments are, it's going to be a big benefit to you guys. The next thing we want to talk about is scope changes without budget increase. This is probably one of the hardest to get over, but it's a willingness to really ask for more on a project when you do have scope changes. So don't be afraid to ask for either time or more budget when scope really changes. I think this is really a big crutch and a problem within the industry, in that willingness to have an open dialogue with clients and having these scope change problems. Next, let's talk about the third big problem, and that's really increasing staff, finding more people, getting them into the company, the hiring process, qualifying them, and retaining them. That's what we want, right? You want to find good qualified people. You want to have a good hiring process that isn't too time consuming to get people into your organization. And then you want to have kind of structures in place to keep those good people. That's the other big problem within the industry, is it's like a 10% turnover. So you're every 10 years effectively turn over, your entire staff. So if you're trying to grow, you need to continually be hiring, because you're going to lose people out of the firm. So retention is also a big issue in this, and it goes hand in hand with some of the other things that we talked about, where you're over budget, you're being stressed and pressured for budgets. I mean, that's again how I got shingles, and then effectively left the industry, because I wanted to help all of you in a bigger and better way through software, through solutions that is going to really help to save you time, improve your quality of life, and help with all these effective problems within the industry. So when we look at qualified people, some of the really the solutions that I see is, one of the things for finding qualified people is you want to have senior people, right? That's who you're looking for, is senior people. You're going to have to pay for them if you're going to go after senior people. So you kind of have two choices, right? You can increase that base pay that for those senior professionals that have a ton of experience that you want on your team, and to get them over, you're going to have to pay them. The other side of it is you're going to have to spend more time, effort, and energy to be hiring green people right out of college, people with maybe not industry experience, and then train them up within your firm. This also means putting a lot of training in place so that you can get through that and help people to really learn the industry, know what's going on, and have a good outcome and a good experience with your firm. So in hiring processes, one of this is, you got to have a good way to do this. Are you using headhunters? Are you using external people? Are you doing it internally and having your own people to go out and try to find candidates? Now, there's two things with this. Headhunters are fairly expensive in what they do, but typically they can provide a great service in getting people into your firm. Having your own people, it's going to be more in line with your core values, your culture, which is another retention piece, so that people have a good experience with your own people, and you can kind of control the process a little more to have that kind of internal headhunter, if you will, for your firm. This also means, involving HR. How soon do the disciplines, if you're hiring for an electrical engineer, how soon does the department director get involved? Do they go to career fairs, things like that? Again, I found it's much better as a department head to go to career fairs to really engage with people. You can make decisions a little quicker, find the people that you want a little faster, and it just gives those candidates a really good image of your firm versus sending, an HR person to interact and engage. And, they don't have as great a feel as the day-to-day activity in a firm. So having, a department head or somebody from a department go to a career fair, I find is a typically a better solution. And then on retention, there's two things that I think really help people stay within a firm. One is that company culture, right? Are you really stressing and pushing people to deliver a project, running from deadline to deadline to deadline, or are you giving them, easy way to go about things? Are you helping them through projects? Are you giving them the resources that they need to complete projects in a timely manner, in a good manner, but not overly stressed, worried environment for them? And this is a big thing throughout the industry is, running from deadline to deadline, getting pushed and beat around on a lot of things. And, people ultimately just burn out and leave. The other thing that I find a lot of people don't do well with in engineering firms is there's no place for advancement. You're an engineer, maybe a senior engineer, and then you've either got to wait for, the department head to go somewhere else or retire or whatever the case might be. And that's usually, there's nowhere for them to go for years. So they need to take another job to advance within their career path. So it could be giving them project manager roles or different expertise roles within your firm to allow them to grow and advance through the firm. So again, we've covered a few big things, right? And we'll talk about how automation kind of ties this all together. Really, it's increasing production, so that gets you under budget. That's the biggest thing with all this. It saves you time when you automate all these tedious little tasks. It reduces that rework because you've done something and then allowed them to look at it when you really spent no time doing it. So it's going to allow you to just move faster through your projects and allows you to scale your firm with the same staff. So it reduces workload, reduces stress, increases this company culture thing that we talked about here, right? You're going to have a better company culture, you're going to retain more people through this, and you're going to be able to, again, scale your firm, do more projects. Like we talked about back here, is you're going to be able to, scale, add more team members through this whole thing. So it's going to just help all this, right? And if scope changes, that's not going to be a big deal either, because again, you spent no time putting things into your project. And just show you kind of what we do. So this is going to walk through our main solution called Surfboard. That's going to automate your electrical device placement. So from lights, receptacles, switches, aux sensors, smoke detectors, panels, horn strobes throughout your entire model. And it's going to save you a whole bunch of time. So kind of walking you through what it's doing, we're putting in a couple switches, putting in some dimmers at each door, and you'd go through this room by room to place all the devices, all the content that you would want in each and every room using your own Revit families, your own Revit content. And really, so this little, few minute video here is going to walk you through what we do to place all this content within your models. So again, saving time, reducing, the work. So now you can put effectively a design document set of drawings together to have your clients review, to have other disciplines review, and you've spent all of, 5-15 minutes, right? So we're going to skip ahead a minute 49 here. That's how long it takes to populate this entire model. So 762 elements were placed within this model in, under 2 minutes. And you can just see all the content that's placed in this model. Again, quick little walkthrough video to show you what the capabilities and possibilities are for your projects. So if you'd like to book a personal demo, you can go to this link here, meetings.hubspot.com/Dylan18, and book a personal demo with me. I'll put this link in the chat here, and you can book a meeting with me to walk through this for yourself. So, and have a customized piece for this and allow you to effectively just get better, move faster through all of your drawings. And we'll put this here in the chat for our meeting invite so that you can, again, book a personal meeting with me so that you can go and look through all this stuff. Now, you can also view, our solutions on YouTube, and that'll allow you to, again, move faster through projects. Surfboard is just one of our many solutions. We've got something that'll set up sheets. We've got another solution that will do your low voltage automation from data drops to floor boxes, wireless access points. All that is going to, again, allow you to move faster, save time, reduce stress on your projects. And that's going to be hugely beneficial to you, your team, everybody in the whole entire process. So guys, thank you for watching this video. I hope to do more web classes and explain just some of the things that I see through the industry and how we can help improve the entire process for everybody moving forward. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on another live broadcast.